Let me ask you something no one probably asked you growing up. What are you doing with your 24 hours? Not someday, not next week, today, right now. Because that question, it has the power to change everything. You see, every person you admire, the millionaire, the leader, the artist, the visionary, they don't have more hours than you. They don't get 26. They don't get a head start. They just use their 24 differently. And that's where everything begins to shift. Because most people, they don't have a time problem. They have a priority problem. They're busy. They're always doing something, but they're rarely doing what actually matters. They're running in circles, not moving forward. Let me tell you something from personal experience. Success isn't some magical force that shows up when you get lucky. It's not a one-time lightning strike. It's not about hustle for hustle's sake. Success is built quietly, hour by hour, decision by decision. And the gap between where you are now and where you want to be, it's not more motivation, it's not more talent, it's not more followers or better timing. It's how you use the exact same 24 hours everyone else has. That's the playing field, and it's level. But not everyone is playing the same game. Let me break this down even further. While some people are scrolling, others are building. While some are surviving the day, others are designing it. While some wait to feel ready, others act regardless of how they feel. That's the difference. It's not louder, it's not flashier, it's quieter, more intentional, more focused. And today's not about hype. This video, it's not about getting fired up for 10 minutes and then going back to old habits. This is about taking ownership, real long-lasting ownership of your time, your mind, your future. Because if you can own your day, just one day, and repeat that ownership consistently, you won't just improve your schedule, you'll upgrade your identity. So let me ask you again with 100% honesty, what are you doing with your 24? If you're still here, if something in you is waking up, something saying, I'm done wasting time, I'm ready to step up, then stay with me. Because what you're about to learn isn't theory, it's transformation, 1 hour at a time. Not by doing more, but by doing what matters most. Let's begin. If you're still watching and ready to take full ownership of your time, starting today, comment below, year to you one. I own my hours. Let me share something that took me years to understand. You don't start a successful day in the morning. You start it the night before. Most people live like the day starts when the alarm rings. But the truth, by the time you wake up, it's already too late, unless you prepared the night before. Look around. People end their day with distractions. They fall asleep with the TV still on. They scroll mindlessly through social media until their eyes can't stay open. They go to bed exhausted but not clear, and they call it unwinding. But really, it's escaping. Here's the thing. If you don't close the day with intention, you open the next one with confusion. Your brain doesn't shut off just because your body lays down. And when you end the day in chaos, your mind keeps spinning overnight. Ever wake up already stressed, already behind, already tired? That's not random, that's programming. But successful people, they close the day with clarity. They don't stumble into the next morning wondering what to do. They already decided. That's the edge, that's the difference. And it's not complicated. Here's what I challenge you to try tonight. Not tomorrow, tonight. 10 minutes before bed. Review your day. What did I accomplish? What felt meaningful? What did I learn? List tomorrow's top 3 priorities. Not 10, just 3. What must get done for the day to be considered successful? Ask yourself why they matter. Attach purpose to your tasks. Purpose creates energy. Prepare your tools. Set out clothes. Organize your workspace. Prep your breakfast or workout gear. Visualize your morning. Mentally rehearse how you want to start the day. This creates a powerful sense of control and confidence. It's not about perfection. It's about direction. And the direction you take before sleep often determines how strong you show up after sleep. You're not ending your day to escape it. You're ending it to own the next one. Let's be honest. It's easy to say, I'll figure it out in the morning. But if you leave your life to chance, it will keep you average. Successful people don't wake up hoping for clarity. They wake up with clarity because they created it last night. It's a quiet discipline, a private commitment, and that's why it works. If it's not written, it's not real. If it's not prepared, it's not protected. And if you're not planning your life, someone else will plan it for you. I used to end my days like most people, brain fried, no plan, hoping the morning would magically fix everything. But guess what? Hope is not a strategy, and randomness never creates results you're proud of. The night I started journaling my priorities, shutting off screens early, and laying out my vision, even just mentally, was the night my mornings stopped feeling like a fight and started feeling like a launch pad. It didn't happen overnight, but over time, my nights stopped being a blur and started being a bridge to something better. Let me challenge you with this thought. If you want to live like the top 1%, start preparing like them. Because the average person stays up late for no reason, the successful person lays down with purpose. And when you do that consistently, when you design your nights, you stop living reactively and start living strategically. If you're still watching and ready to use your night to win your morning, comment below. 2. I plan my night. Not tomorrow, tonight, not perfectly, intentionally. Because when you close your day like a leader, you open the next one with power. Let me be direct with you. The first hour of your day is not just the beginning of a morning, it's the beginning of your future. You've heard the phrase, win the morning, win the day. But what most people miss is this. The first hour isn't just about routine, it's about reclaiming control. Because if you don't take control of your morning, the world will. Let's be honest. The average person doesn't start the day. They get dragged into it. They hit snooze. They scroll through headlines. They check email before their feet hit the floor. They walk into their day already feeling behind, and they carry that energy until bedtime. And then they wonder why they're exhausted, frustrated, and stuck. But here's the truth. If you start your day in reaction mode, you train your brain to stay there. You're not thinking proactively. You're responding defensively. And your most powerful resource, your focus, gets hijacked before you've even had coffee. The successful don't survive their mornings. They lead them. That first hour is where they sharpen their identity. They don't jump into messages, requests, or noise. They start inward. They start with clarity. They start with intention. Because they know the quality of that first hour shapes the quality of the next 23. This isn't about waking up at an ungodly hour or copying someone else's miracle routine. This is about owning the space between waking up and plugging in. You can tailor it to your life. But here's a proven framework. Start with stillness, no phone, no noise. Reflect, meditate, or breathe deeply. Create space for your own voice to be heard before the world's demands flood in. 2. Movement, 10 to 20 minutes. Walk, stretch, light exercise, get blood flowing. You're not training for the Olympics. You're activating your energy. A moving body creates a moving mind. 3. Mental nutrition, 10-15 minutes. Read a few pages of something that feeds your mind. Audiobook, podcast, scripture, biography. Feed wisdom, not worry. What you input early sets the tone. 4. Journaling, clarity, 5-10 minutes. Write down 3 things you're grateful for. Your top goal today, a simple affirmation, I lead my day with clarity. 4. It's true to review the mission, 5 minutes. Look at your plan for the day. Identify your top 3 must-dos. Visualize yourself finishing them strong. You don't have to do it perfectly, you just have to do it intentionally. Even 30 to 45 minutes of deliberate action first thing in the morning can shift the trajectory of your entire life. I used to start the day just like everyone else, reaction mode. I'd wake up late, rush out the door, and chase my to-do list all day. And I always felt like I was behind. Not because I didn't work hard, but because I never owned the start. Then I flipped the script. I decided, from now on, I start the day on offense, not defense. And everything changed. I felt calmer, clearer, more confident, because I wasn't waking up to the world and I was waking up to me. You're not here to start your day by checking notifications. You're here to check in with your mission. You're not here to wake up late and rush. You're here to wake up with direction and lead. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present. Because the way you start your day tells your brain who's in charge. And that's a message worth repeating every morning. If you're still here and you're ready to lead your day, instead of reacting to it, comment below. 3. I lead my day. This isn't about pressure, it's about power. The kind of quiet, focused power that builds legacies. Let's get this out of the way. Being busy does not mean you're making progress. Some of the busiest people you know, always in a rush, always multitasking, always exhausted, are stuck. Not because they're lazy, but because they're busy doing the wrong things. Here's the trap. Most people confuse movement with momentum. They fill their calendars, They check boxes. They collapse into bed feeling spent. But here's the uncomfortable question. Spent on what? We've been trained to believe that more are better. More meetings, more emails, more replies, more tasks. It creates the illusion of progress. But deep down, you know the truth. You can spend your whole day being efficient and still get nowhere. Let me say that again. You can be incredibly efficient at things that don't matter. And that's the real problem. The goal is not to do more. The goal is to do what matters most. Busy is reactive. Strategic is intentional. Busy is noise. Strategic is clarity. Busy is exhausting. Strategic is energizing. Here's the hard truth. Most people major in minor things. They get really good at doing a lot, but never stop to ask, does any of this actually move my life forward? Tactical shift from task-filled to purpose-driven. Let's flip this. Instead of starting your day asking, what do I have to do today? Ask this instead. What are the 2 or 3 things that, if completed, would truly move my life forward? That's not just a productivity hack, that's a prioritization mindset. Here's a simple tool that top performers use daily. The 80-20 focus filter, Pareto principle. The principle is simple. 80% of your outcomes come from 20% of your actions. So ask yourself, what's the 20% that creates 80% of my results? What tasks could I let go of without consequence? What are my big rocks today, and when will I do them? Stop reacting to your to-do list like a robot. Start using it like a CEO. From checklist to clarity. What actually counts? Let me give you a few examples of tasks versus priorities. Task priority: replying to emails all morning, sending 1 sales proposal that closes, attending 5 Zoom meetings, having 1 decision-making conversation, organizing your notes, writing the next page of your book, reading random articles, studying 10 pages from a strategic book. See the pattern? You don't need to do more. You need to do better. Personal insight. When I got brutally honest with my to-do list for years, I was one of those busy achievers. Always moving, always on, always tired. But when I stepped back and looked at my days, I realized I was spending 80% of my time on things that looked productive, but didn't create results. The shift came when I stopped chasing volume and started chasing value. I cut my to-do list in half and doubled my results. It wasn't magic, it was focus. Identity shift. From busybody to strategic builder. You are not here to fill up your calendar. You're here to build something, a life, a legacy, a purpose. That requires ruthless clarity. It requires asking every day, is this task moving me forward or just filling time? Because anyone can be busy, but the people who create real impact, they're not just moving, they're moving with direction. Personal insight. When I got brutally honest with my to-do list for years, I was one of those busy achievers, always moving, always on, always tired. But when I stepped back and looked at my days, I realized I was spending 80% of my time on things that looked productive, but didn't create results. The shift came when I stopped chasing volume and started chasing value. I cut my to-do list in half and then doubled my results. It wasn't magic, it was focus. Identity shift. From busybody to strategic builder. You are not here to fill up your calendar. You're here to build something, a life, a legacy, a purpose. That requires ruthless clarity. It requires asking every day, is this task moving me forward or just filling time? Because anyone can be busy, but the people who create real impact, they're not just moving, they're moving with direction. If you're still here and ready to stop checking boxes and start changing your future, comment below. 4. Priorities first. You don't need a longer day. You need a clearer one. Let me give you a rule that high performers live by. If it's not on your calendar, it's not real. Sounds intense, right? But here's what separates professionals from amateurs. They don't hope they'll find time. They make time. They protect it. They assign it. And most importantly, they show up for it. Because winners don't rely on memory. They rely on structure. Let's take a look at how most people operate. They say things like, I'll get to it later. I'll try to make time this week. When things slow down, I'll finally start. But later turns into never, and someday quietly becomes never happened. Let me be clear. If your goals aren't on your calendar, they're just good intentions. And intentions don't get results. Commitments do. The real purpose of a calendar. Your calendar isn't just a planner. It's a mirror. It reflects who you're becoming, not who you say you want to become. Take a look at your last 7 days. Ask yourself, where is my personal growth time? Where is my health? Where is deep work, not shallow to-dos? Where is time for the relationships I say matter? If it's not there, is it really a priority? Because here's the truth. Your schedule reveals your real values, not your words, your choices. Practical strategy, weekly calendar design, the power move. Here's a process you can start today. I call it calendar like a pro. Step 1, define your core priorities. What matters most right now? Think in categories. Health. Waföjvärnis, ifoninum, sold career. Growth, learning, skills, mindset. Relationships. Recovery, rest, spiritual mental health. Step 2, assign blocks on purpose. Instead of saying, I'll work on my health this week, say, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7 a.m., gym time locked. Instead of I should read more, say, 20 minutes each night before bed, scheduled. Block it like a meeting, because it is a meeting with your future. Step 3, color code by value. This one's powerful. Assign each core category a color. When you look at your week, you should see balance, or the lack of it. If your calendar is all red, work, and 0 green, health, that's not hustle. That's imbalance. Personal lesson. The calendar saved my sanity. I used to keep everything in my head. Goals, ideas, reminders, to-do lists. But guess what? My head was exhausted. My time was all over the place. And when I did have time to work on something important, I was already drained. Then I started scheduling like a professional. I put thinking time on the calendar. I put deep work blocks on the calendar. I even scheduled disconnect time. And for the first time, I didn't feel guilty for resting because I had designed it that way. Structure didn't trap me, it freed me. Identity shift from drifter to designer. You are not someone who lets the day happen to them. You are someone who designs the day on purpose. You're not reacting to other people's priorities. You're living your own. This isn't about control, it's about clarity. When your calendar aligns with your values, you stop chasing balance and start living in alignment. Common objection, but my schedule changes too much. That's okay. Life happens. Flexibility matters. But so does intentionality. Even if you only control 30% of your day, make that 30% count. You don't have to own every minute, but you do need to own the most important ones. Don't prioritize your schedule. Schedule your priorities. It's not about doing everything. It's about doing the right things and giving them a home on your calendar. Because once they have a home, they have a chance to get done. If you're still watching and you're ready to design your days with purpose, comment below. 5, I schedule my values. Because when you control your calendar, you start controlling your future. Let's get brutally honest. You can't say yes to everything and still win. I know that sounds obvious, but look at how most people live. They say yes to every request, yes to every event, yes to every distraction, yes to every quick favor that steals an hour of their life they'll never get back. And then they wonder why they're exhausted, why they feel scattered, why they can't make meaningful progress on the things that actually matter. Let me say it again, louder for the people in the back. Every yes has a cost. When you say yes to something unimportant, you are quietly, but powerfully, saying no to something essential. The real reason we say yes too often, it's not because we're weak, it's because we're afraid. Afraid of disappointing people, afraid of missing out, afraid of being seen as rude or selfish. So we sacrifice our vision for approval. We trade our goals for comfort. We give away our time like it's free, even though we can never get it back. But here's the truth. Saying yes to everything doesn't make you generous. It makes you unavailable to your purpose. Reframe. No isn't a rejection. It's a decision. Successful people understand something most people never will. No is a complete sentence, and it's not personal. It's strategic. They know that every time they say no to a distraction, they're saying yes to focus. Health, vision, peace, progress. They don't let guilt run their calendar. They don't let pressure overtake their principles. They make decisions based on direction, not emotion. Tactical filter. The purpose check. Before you say yes to anything, ask yourself, does this serve my mission or steal from it? Will this move me closer to the life I want or distract me from it? Am I saying yes from alignment or from guilt, pressure, or habit? If the answer is it steals, it distracts, or I'm not sure, say no respectfully, but firmly, because one strong no today can protect your energy for the right yes tomorrow. Personal insight. I used to be a yes machine. I used to say yes to everything, every invite, every ask, every, can we jump on a quick call? I thought it made me helpful, supportive, well-liked, but inside I was burning out, constantly putting other people's agendas ahead of my own vision. The turning point? Realizing that the people who respected my no were the ones who respected my purpose. And the ones who didn't? They weren't part of the future I was building anyway. Identity shift from pleaser to protector. You are not on this planet to live someone else's schedule. You're here to build, to grow, to make an impact. And that requires energy. It requires boundaries. It requires choosing what gets your attention and what doesn't. Protecting your time isn't selfish. It's serious. It means you value your life enough to lead it. You can't build a masterpiece if your time is being eaten alive by the meaningless. What about guilt? Here's the truth. You'll feel guilty the first few times, and that's okay. Growth always feels uncomfortable at first, but with each no that protects your mission, you build clarity, confidence, and conviction. Eventually, you stop apologizing for having standards because you realize this isn't personal. This is purposeful. Quote to live by. Every time you say no to something that doesn't matter, you say yes louder to what does. That's the power of aligned living. And the more you live in alignment, the less approval you need. If you're still watching and you're ready to stop saying yes out of guilt and start saying yes to your goals, comment below. 6. I protect my time. Remember, no doesn't close doors. It opens the right ones. Let me ask you something simple, but powerful. How much time do you waste waiting each day? Waiting in traffic, waiting in line, waiting for a meeting to start, waiting on hold, stuck in a delay, or scrolling out of boredom. Most people waste these gaps. They kill time. But successful people, they invest it. They don't just wait, they grow in the waiting. The everyday secret of high performers. You want to know something the most successful people do differently? They treat small windows of time like hidden treasure. They don't need a full hour to get better. They need 10 minutes of intention, a moment of momentum, a tiny routine of growth, repeated consistently. Small moments compound into big changes. 10 minutes of reflection every evening, sharper decisions. 15 minutes of learning every commute, 90 hours a year. 5 minutes of reviewing goals each morning. Daily clarity. They don't find time, they extract value from time others throw away. The scroll trap versus the skill stack. Let's be honest. Most people use every waiting gap to scroll. TikTok, Reels, clickbait, gossip, distraction disguised as entertainment. But here's the cost. Those little escapes are stealing your edge. What if you replaced even half of that scrolling with growth? Listening to a podcast that sharpens your mindset, reading 5 pages of a book that builds your future, capturing ideas or journaling your thoughts, reflecting on one lesson from the day. You'd build a skill stack without even trying. And over time, you'd be a completely different person, smarter, clearer, more prepared. My simple framework: learn, reflect, capture. Here's what I started doing and what changed everything for me. Every time I find myself waiting, I do one of 3 things. Learn, I listen to something valuable, audiobooks, YouTube, courses. Reflect, I think through a challenge, a win, or a conversation. Capture, I jot down an idea, a lesson, or a reminder in my notes app. No pressure, just presence. And guess what? The more I practice this, the more insights I carried into the rest of my day. Because growth doesn't need a big stage. It needs small space and awareness to use it. Time is passing anyway. So use it. This is something I remind myself constantly. Time will pass no matter what, but how you use it determines who you become. You can let those 10-minute gaps drain you or develop you. You can scroll through your phone or scroll through your purpose. Because waiting isn't the enemy, wasting is. Identity shift from waster to builder. Let this be the shift. You're not someone who waits for life to happen. You're someone who builds, even in the margins. That mindset alone separates the average from the unstoppable. Quote to remember, don't say you don't have time. Say you don't use your time. And then decide to change that, one waiting moment at a time. If you're still watching and you're ready to turn every delay into development, every gap into growth, comment below. 7. I grow in the gaps. Let's redeem your time, because wasted time is wasted life. Let me give you a rule that changed my productivity forever. If it's not scheduled, it's not real. Sounds simple, right? But this one principle separates those who wish from those who win. You see, average people keep their goals in their head. They say things like, I'll get around to it. I'll try to make time. Or the classic, I'll do it when I have a chance. But here's the truth. You don't find time. You make time. And how do you make time? You put it on the calendar. You give your goals a home. You turn intention into structure. Why most people stay stuck? Most people have dreams, but they also have messy schedules, scattered priorities, and zero time blocks for the things that matter. So guess what? Their dreams never get built. Not because they're lazy, but because they're unstructured. And structure isn't restriction. Structure is what gives freedom. When you calendar your priorities, you gain clarity. When you gain clarity, you gain control. And when you gain control, you gain momentum. Structure makes it real. Think about it like this. You wouldn't build a house without a blueprint. So why are you building your life without a plan? You say growth matters. You say health, relationships, business, learning, all matter. But are they on your calendar? If not, they're not real. They're just ideas floating in the air. Don't prioritize your schedule. Schedule your priorities. That's how successful people operate. They don't hope to find time to read. They schedule 20 minutes a day. They don't try to fit in workouts. They block 7 a.m. every weekday. They don't wait for motivation. They use systems and structure to win, no matter what. Your calendar is a mirror. Here's something to try right now. Look at your calendar for the next 7 days. What does it say about your future? What does it say about your values? Does it reflect your goals or just your habits? Be honest, because this is where transformation begins. 3 keys to mastering your schedule. Let me give you a simple but powerful framework. Block your big rocks. These are the essential, high-leverage priorities like deep work, learning, workouts, family time. Give them fixed slots. Build in buffers, don't overbook. Leave space between meetings, tasks, and transitions. Space is energy. Guard it like gold. Once it's scheduled, protect it. Say no to distractions, urgent requests, and time wasters. This isn't about being robotic, it's about being deliberate. Tools versus excuses. In today's world, you've got every scheduling tool imaginable. Google Calendar, Notion, Apple Reminders, time blocking templates, Pomodoro timers. But even the best tool is useless if you don't use it with intention. Don't use tools to feel busy. Use them to become effective. Shift your identity from drifter to designer. Let this be the shift. You're not someone who reacts to your day. You're someone who designs it. Your calendar isn't just for meetings. It's a map of your future. It's a declaration of what matters. And when you treat it like that, you stop drifting. You start building. Quote to remember. Show me your calendar and I'll show you your future. Because time invested is life invested. If you're still with me and you're ready to take full control of your time, comment below. 8. I schedule what matters. Your future deserves a place on your calendar. Not someday, not when you feel like it, but now. Let me tell you something most people never learn until it's too late. You can't say yes to everything and still win. It's not about being rude. It's not about being cold. It's about being clear. Clarity is power. And the fastest way to lose that power is to say yes to every request, every invite, every opportunity that sounds good, but doesn't serve the life you want to build. Why most people stay overwhelmed. You're not overwhelmed because you lack talent. You're overwhelmed because you're overcommitted. Every yes you give to something meaningless is a quiet no to something meaningful. Yes to endless scrolling, no to growth. Yes to pointless meetings, no to deep work. Yes to pleasing others, no to prioritizing yourself. Your time is not just limited, it's sacred. and every yes must be earned. Focus is bought with no. Here's the truth most people ignore. Focus isn't free, it's bought with boundaries. The people who achieve at the highest levels didn't get there by doing everything. They got there by doing the right things and saying no to the rest. They don't let guilt run their schedule. They don't apologize for protecting their peace. They don't say yes to people who don't respect their mission. Why? Because every yes has a cost, and the cost is focus. And without focus, not trickery, nothing great gets built. How to say no without guilt? Let me make it practical. Here are 4 powerful ways to say no that still sound respectful. Thanks for thinking of me, but I can't commit to that right now. I'm focused on a few priorities this month, and I need to stay true to them. I'm honored you asked, but I don't have the bandwidth to do it well. That's not aligned with where I'm heading right now. Notice something? These aren't excuses. They're decisions made from clarity. The hidden superpower of no. You know what's funny? Every time you say no to the wrong thing, you say yes to something better. Yes to your goals. Yes to your values. Yes to deep focus. Yes to rest. Yes to family. Yes to you. No isn't rejection, it's protection. Protecting your mind, your time, your energy, your future. You can't do it all. You're not supposed to. And success is not about more. It's about meaning. Build your filter. So here's a challenge. Build a simple filter for every decision that comes your way. Ask, does this move me closer to who I want to become? Will this matter a year from now? Is this aligned with my top 3 priorities this week? Am I doing this out of guilt or growth? If it doesn't pass the filter, it doesn't pass your time. Period. Train your decision muscle. Every no you give strengthens your identity. You're training your brain to protect what matters. You're teaching yourself and others that your time isn't cheap. And over time, something amazing happens. You feel lighter, more focused, more in control. Because you are. Your future depends on your no listen. Opportunities will keep coming. Distractions will keep knocking. People will keep asking. But your future? It depends on you drawing a line. You can build a masterpiece, or you can manage a mess, but you can't do both. So don't try. Start being intentional. Start filtering your yes. Start protecting your vision. If you're still with me and you're ready to say no to the wrong things, so you can say yes to the life you deserve. Comment below. 9. I say no with purpose. Because the people who build meaningful lives, they build it on purpose. One clear no at a time. How many minutes do you lose every day just waiting? Waiting in traffic, waiting at the coffee shop, waiting on hold, waiting for a meeting to start, waiting for someone to text you back. Most people treat those moments like dead space. Time to kill, time to scroll, time to do nothing. But the successful, they treat it like gold. Because here's the truth. You don't need more hours. You need to use the ones you already have differently. The hidden power of micro moments. We all have tiny pockets of time in our day. 5 minutes here, 12 minutes there. Most people ignore them. But those micro moments, when used intentionally, become micro victories. 20 minutes of reading on your commute, just your 10 hours a month. 10 minutes of journaling in a waiting room, start clarity that shapes your whole week. 15 minutes of podcast while folding laundry, conducting a mini masterclass on leadership or mindset. Small actions, huge compound effect. The people who grow fastest are not the ones who work more. They're the ones who redeem more. Growth on the go. Tools of the intentional. Let me show you how to turn dead time into development time. Carry a book or Kindle everywhere. You never know when you'll have 10 quiet minutes. Podcast playlist. Download 3 or 5 episodes ahead of time. Listen while driving, walking, waiting. Digital notes app. Use Apple Notes, Notion, Evernote. When ideas strike, capture them fast. Flashcards or language apps. Grow your brain while others grow frustrated in traffic. Mindset questions. Ask yourself, what's one thing I learned today? What can I improve? Who did I serve? You don't need a 2-hour block to grow. You need a mindset that says, every moment has potential if I'm ready. What's stealing your gaps? Let's get real. What are most people actually doing during life's little gaps? Scrolling social media, checking emails that don't matter, replaying conversations that already happened, worrying about things out of their control. It's not growth. It's distraction. It's not restoration. It's noise. It's not preparation. It's escape. And you know what happens when you waste those small windows? You feel like you never have time, even when you do. Stack your habits into the gaps. Here's a trick top performers use. Habit stacking. Attach a meaningful activity to a common gap. Waiting in line, review your top 3 goals. In the Uber, come up front and reflect on your last meeting. Brushing your teeth, listen to an audiobook. Cooking dinner, gratitude audio or journal voice memo. You're not adding time, you're reclaiming it. And over weeks, those reclaimed moments become a second education. Why this matters more than ever. We live in the busiest era of human history, and yet the most distracted. We have access to endless information, and yet many people feel stuck. That's not because we lack intelligence. It's because we lack intentionality. The winners of this generation won't be the loudest. They'll be the most deliberate. They'll be the ones who say, if I have 5 minutes, I can move the needle. Because growth doesn't wait for ideal conditions. Growth lives in the small windows most people overlook. Let's do the math. Here's the numbers behind this principle. Let's say you reclaim 15 minutes each day to learn. That's 7.5 hours a month. That's 90 hours a year. That's over 2 full work weeks of focused learning, 2 weeks of skill building, 2 weeks of mindset training, 2 weeks of wisdom downloaded while others wait. The difference isn't in talent, it's in time used wisely. If you're still here and you're ready to turn life's gaps into growth opportunities, drop a comment. 10, I grow while others wait. Because the successful don't find time, they redeem it. Let me hit you with a hard truth. If you're the only person doing everything in your life, you're not growing, you're drowning. You can't build something great when you're constantly buried in the small stuff. You're not supposed to carry it all. You're supposed to prioritize what only you can do and systemize the rest. That's not laziness, that's leverage. And if you want to win, you need to master one powerful framework. Delegate, automate, eliminate. 1. Delegate, let others carry the load. Let me ask you something. Are you doing 10-hour tasks while trying to build a 6-figure dream? That's not noble, that's inefficient. The most successful people don't try to do it all. They ask, who can help me do this better, faster, and smarter? Delegation isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Hire a virtual assistant to handle repetitive admin. Let someone else edit your videos, clean your house, manage your inbox. Train your team, trust your people, release control. Because every minute you're doing something anyone can do, you're stealing time from what only you can do. Let go to level up. 2, automate, build systems that work without you. We live in the age of systems, apps, and AI, and yet most people are still doing everything manually. If you're repeating a task more than twice, it's a system waiting to be built. Here's how high performers think. Automated scheduling, Calendly, Google Calendar. Email filters and templates, save your energy. Auto-pay bills, subscriptions, and routines. Set once, forget stress. Content planning tools, batch, schedule, breathe. Think of automation like building a team of robots that work while you rest. And you don't need to be tech savvy, you just need to be intentional. 3, eliminate. Just because you've always done it doesn't mean you still should. Let's be honest. Not everything you're doing today deserves to exist tomorrow. Some things don't need to be delegated or automated, they just need to be deleted. Ask yourself, if I stop doing this today, would it even matter next week? Is this task moving my life forward or just keeping me busy? Am I holding on to this out of habit or impact? Here's the truth. Productivity isn't about doing more. It's about doing less of what doesn't matter. Delete the noise, free up your focus, because clarity lives on the other side of elimination. Your energy is expensive. Spend it wisely. The most successful people on the planet are energy managers, not just time managers. They protect their bandwidth like it's gold. They don't touch what drains them unnecessarily, because every yes has a hidden cost. That cost is your attention. That cost is your momentum. You don't get rich by doing everything. You get rich by doing the right things consistently and outsourcing the rest. Replace yourself in the process, not just the task. Here's the ultimate mindset shift. You're not just trying to get things done. You're trying to design a life that doesn't depend on your constant effort. That means replacing yourself from repetitive tasks, empowering systems that keep running, freeing yourself up to focus on your zone of genius. If your dream life requires you to hustle 12 hours a day forever, it's not a dream, it's a trap. Build systems now so you can buy back your future later. Real-world example, a simple reclaim of 5 hours shown on week. Let's break it down. Delegate 2 hours of admin per week plus 2 HRs. Automate weekly content publishing, 1.5 HRs. Eliminate one unnecessary meeting, 0.1 sure. Stop checking email 5x day, 30 minutes. That's 5 hours a week reclaimed, 260 hours a year. You just bought back over 6 work weeks. And you did it not by working harder, but smarter. If you're still here and you're ready to take your hands off the things that don't need them, drop a comment below. 11. I systemize to rise. Because true leaders don't just do more, they design more margin and fill it with what really matters. Let's flip the script on how we think about evenings. See, most people treat the evening like a throwaway time, binge Netflix until they pass out, mindlessly scroll social media, snack, stress, and spiral into sleep. But let me ask you, would you end a championship game by walking off the court with your head down and your shoelaces untied? Then why end your day that way? The way you close the day determines the way you open the next one. Great days don't start in the morning. They start the night before. Evening is the hidden setup for tomorrow's success. Think about it like this. Evenings are the backstage of your life. No one sees it, but it sets the tone for the whole performance. Here's what successful people know. While the world powers down, they reset. While others numb out, they reflect. While most drift, they decide. And what they decide is simple. Tomorrow will not be an accident. It will be a conscious choice, starting right now. 3 evening habits that change everything. Let's get tactical. Want to end the day with power? Make these your non-negotiables. 1. The 5-minute review. Ask yourself 3 simple questions. What did I do well today? What did I learn? What do I want to improve tomorrow? Write it down. No phone, no fluff, just real reflection. Why it works. You gain wisdom from your own life. You don't move blindly. You build on yesterday with intention. 2. The priority preview. Don't wait until morning chaos to decide what matters. List your top 3 priorities for tomorrow tonight. Use a sticky note, a notebook, a calendar. Doesn't matter where, just get it out of your head. Why it works. You sleep better. You wake up with clarity. You avoid the trap of starting the day in reaction mode. 3. The wind down ritual. This one might sound simple, but it's a game changer. Create a ritual that signals, my day is done. Examples: light stretching or breathing, gentle music or journaling. Shut off screens 30 minutes before bed. Gratitude reflection. Write down 3 things you're thankful for. Why it works. You shift your nervous system out of stress and into rest. Your body sleeps deeper. Your brain resets. You stop dragging yourself to bed and start preparing yourself to rise. Evening awareness builds identity. When you end your day on purpose, you start seeing yourself differently. You go from, I'm overwhelmed, I'm organized, I'm reactive, I'm intentional, I'm stuck, I'm learning. This isn't about being perfect. It's about ending the day with your values in your hands, not your phone in your face. Jim Rohn once said, don't let your learning lead to knowledge. Let your learning lead to action. And what better time to apply that than the quiet moments before sleep? Every night you can ask, what did I learn today? How will I use it tomorrow? That's not theory, that's transformation. Evenings aren't an ending. They're a beginning in disguise. Let's be real. You don't need a perfect morning routine if your night is chaos. You don't need more time. You need better transitions. You don't need motivation. You need momentum. And momentum begins where most people fall asleep mentally. So tonight, instead of defaulting into distraction, design your wind down. Go to bed with peace. Wake up with purpose. If you're still here and you're ready to take back your nights, drop a comment. 12. I end my day with wisdom. Let the world sleep in noise. You sleep in clarity. Because winners don't drift to the finish line. They cross it on purpose, and they line up the next one before the lights go out. Let's stop sugarcoating it. Discipline is the bridge between goals and results. Not motivation, not luck, not talent. Discipline, the ability to do what you said you would do, even when you no longer feel like it. Motivation gets you going. Discipline gets you growing. Motivation is the spark, but discipline, that's the engine. Motivation says, I feel good, let's do it. Discipline says, I don't feel like it, let's do it anyway. One burns hot, the other burns long. Let me ask you this. How many times have you said, I'll wake up early tomorrow, but snooze your alarm? I'll eat better, but ordered takeout again? I'll work on that dream, but ended up watching Netflix? You don't need more motivation. You need more follow-through. Discipline is a skill, not a trait. Here's a lie we've all been told. Some people are just born disciplined. Wrong. Discipline is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. But just like any muscle, it starts small. It hurts at first. It requires consistency. You don't go to the gym once and expect abs. You don't act with discipline one day and expect your life to change. But if you repeat the behavior, one rep, one routine, one ritual at a time, you change your identity. You stop trying to act like a disciplined person and become one. Micro-discipline, your macro transformation. You want big life change? Start small, very small. Try these. Make your bed every morning, even if the rest of the day's messy. Shut off Netflix after one episode, even when the next button tempts you. Stick to your 10-minute night planning, even when you're tired. Each time you follow through, your brain records a win. It starts believing, this is who I am now. And over time, that identity becomes your normal. Discipline in action, the non-negotiable life. Let me share a mindset used by high performers, Navy SEALs, elite athletes, and world-class creators. It's not up for debate. That means, if it's on the calendar, you do it. If it's part of your plan, it happens. If you said you'd show up, you show up. Not because you feel like it, but because you're becoming someone who keeps their word. This one idea, living non-negotiably, will elevate your life more than any productivity hack. Jim Rohn once said, discipline is the foundation upon which all success is built. Lack of discipline inevitably leads to failure. So here's the truth bomb. If your results are inconsistent, it's not a time issue. It's a discipline issue. You're not running out of hours, you're leaking commitment. The beautiful cycle of discipline. Let's walk through what happens when you act with discipline. You follow through on a small promise. You feel proud. You gain confidence. You're more likely to follow through again. You build momentum, do it long enough, and you trust yourself again. And that trust, it becomes the foundation of everything. Your business, your health, your relationships. Without discipline, you drift. Here's the hard truth. Without discipline, days become weeks. Weeks become months. Months become years. And one day, you wake up living a life you didn't choose. Not because you weren't smart enough, but because you didn't stay consistent enough. Discipline is what keeps your dream alive when excitement fades. It's the anchor in the storm. It's the reason behind your results. If you're still watching and you're ready to build the muscle that separates talkers from doers, drop a comment. 13. I choose discipline over distraction. Remember this, your future self is watching. Every small decision you make today is either a deposit toward the life you want, a top or a delay. So choose wisely, choose discipline. Let's bring it home. You want to change your life? Stop thinking in years, start thinking in days. Because here's the truth. Your life isn't built in some big dramatic moment. It's built in the ordinary, in the Tuesday mornings, in the Thursday afternoons, in what you do when no one's watching. Each day is a brick. Imagine your life as a house. Each day is a single brick. You either place that brick with care or you toss it without thinking. And when you repeat that over time, you either build a solid foundation or a fragile one that can collapse under pressure. Let's get practical. You skip a morning routine once, not a big deal. You skip it 30 times in 60 days? That's not a habit. That's your lifestyle. Success isn't built in one perfect day. It's built through the compounding effect of small, intentional days. Consistency beats intensity. You don't need to wake up at 4 a.m., run 10 miles, drink kale smoothies, journal for an hour, and read 5 books a week. That's impressive, but it's not sustainable for most people. What is sustainable? 10 minutes of reading, 5 minutes of reflection, 3 clear priorities per day, 1 act of courage, 0 excuses. When you do this for 1 day, it's nice. When you do it for 100 days, it's life-changing. Design your day, design your destiny. Here's a question worth writing down. If I lived today 500 more times, where would I end up? Because that's what happens. We repeat the same thoughts, the same patterns, the same actions. And one day we land exactly where those repeated days were leading us. You don't accidentally become great. You design your greatness through intentional daily choices. That includes what you say yes and no to, what you feed your mind, What you give your energy to how you treat your time, how you show up when no one's clapping. From dreamer to architect, there are two types of people. Dreamers, architects, in Surfio would need awareness. Dreamers talk about someday. Architects pull out the blueprint and start building. Brick by brick, day by day. Which one will you be? Because the only difference is this. Architects make daily decisions that align with their vision. Dreamers wait for the perfect conditions. Legacy is built in the present. You don't need to have a massive vision board. You don't need to wait for January 1st. You need to wake up tomorrow, look at the calendar and say, how I live this day matters, because the future is just a collection of todays. And if you master today, and then tomorrow, and the next day, you won't just live a better life. You'll become someone you're proud of. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines, practiced every day. That's it. That's the key. Not once in a while, not when it's convenient, but every day. The ordinary, repeated with purpose, becomes extraordinary. Final thought. You are the author. Start writing boldly. At the end of the day, no one is coming to write your story for you. You're the author. You hold the pen. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. So ask yourself, did I live today with intention? Did I act in alignment with the life I want? Did I take one small step forward? If yes, that's a win. Stack enough wins, and you'll look back one day and smile at who you became. If you're still here and you're ready to take back your days and design your destiny, comment below. 14. One day at a time. I'm ready. So here's the real challenge. Don't just watch this video, live it. Start small, start quiet, start with today. And repeat that decision until it's no longer effort. It's identity. Because one day, if you stay consistent, you won't just have a better schedule, you'll have a better life. And not just any life, a life by design.